My friends, I've heard your requests, and today we are continuing with our ongoing series all about walking bass lines. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. Before we get into the lesson, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have bought the new album, Neighbours. I just released this new album on the 26th of September, which is just a few days ago, and the response has been absolutely incredible. Thank you all so much for your encouraging words, and I am so glad. It fills my heart to know that this music is resonating with you. Even on an emotional level. That means a great deal to me. The album is available everywhere. Pick it up when and wherever you can, and that's all I am going to say about that. Today we're talking about walking bass lines, and in the last video, this one right here, I talked about triads, but I also talked about approaching each triad not from the root note, but from the third. Today, I am continuing on that theme. And I am adding the seventh to our pattern. What do I mean by the seventh? I mean the seventh note of the scale, right? So, if you don't know the scale, it's very simple. If I think about that 4-fret span that I have, my root note for the one chord is going to be the note G. We're playing a 12-bar blues in G. So my second finger is on G, which means I have a 4-fret span going from the 2nd fret to the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then these are the fingers that I'm using to play the scales of these chords. I have the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, which means we're playing this scale starting on the 1 chord, which is G at the 3rd fret of the E string. Now here's the pattern. 2, 4, 2nd finger, 4th finger on the E string. I move that up and I play 1, 2, 4, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. You don't have to play it like that. I'm just kind of like demonstrating what fingers that I'm using and getting the 3rd finger out of the way. Play that however you want. You don't even have to use these fingers. This is just letting you know where these notes are going to be. So then I move from the A string, playing 1, 2, 4, and I go down to the D string, and guess what? I play the same thing, which means my pattern is a pretty simple pattern to remember. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 2, 4 again. Now, if I just play the scale, right, going through the 12-bar blues progression, then I have the perfect outline for the chord progression. And then again, up to the 4 chord. Then the 4 chord again. Back to the 1 chord. Then the 1 chord again. Now I'm going to move up to the 5 chord at the 5th fret of the A string and play the same pattern. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Back to G. That's the progression using just the scale. By outlining the scale, I'm showing you where all of the notes are going to be. But here, what I want to do is I want to isolate the root, basically the triad, the root, the 3rd note of the scale, the 5th note of the scale, and then I'm going to add the 7th note of the scale. And this is basically my chord. These are the chord tones of the chord progression. So, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Again, this creates a pattern, and you can name this pattern or remember this pattern in any way that you want. To me, it kind of looks like a cross on the fingerboard. Root, third, fifth, seventh. I've got my root and my seventh on the third fret of the E string, and then skipping the A string and going up to the D string. There's my root, and then here's my seventh. And then my third and my fifth, in this particular case, second fret up to the fifth fret of the A string. So I have this kind of cross-like pattern. So if I just take that through the progression, five chord, down to the four chord, back to the one chord. All right, so far we've got the scale and we have the chord tones, but here is where things get cool. What I want to do, and what I talked about in the last video, all about walking bass lines, I talked about the idea of approaching each chord not from the root note but from the third. And when I do that and add the seventh, I'm going to give you this pattern. The pattern is as follows. I'm going to play from the third up to the fifth, and then I'm going to go up to play the root, and then from there I'm going to go back and play the seventh. So I have this pattern. Now that I have established the pattern, I can now take this pattern through the progression. 3, 5, 1, 7, up to the C, the 4 chord, and then back. And then again. Up to the 4 chord now. Up to the D, the 5 chord, down to the 4 chord, and then back to the 1 chord. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now what I want you to do is I just want you to practice that pattern. If you're new to this idea, then really work on getting that idea of 3, 5, 1, 7 under the fingers. Just work on that. Just work on that on the 1 chord, on that G. Third to the fifth, to the root, to the seventh. The notes are B, D, G, and F. Second fret to the fifth fret on the A string. Fifth fret to the third fret on the D string. So I'll play through the progression one more time, a little bit faster. And this time just listen to the movement. With every exercise, there is a melodic pattern that's being created. If you are able to listen to that pattern and understand where the notes are moving, then it won't be long before you don't even have to look at the fretboard. You know where the notes are going to be, and you know how the notes are going to sound. So. That's the pattern. Friends and neighbors, I think I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot more that I want to talk about regarding this pattern, but I'm realizing that I've already thrown a whole bunch of information at you, and I do not want to overwhelm anyone or leave anyone behind with this stuff. So what have we covered? We talked about the scale. This is a dominant seventh scale. It's a major scale with a minor seventh. We talked about the scale. We took that scale through the chord progression. Then we talked about adding the seventh to the triad. And then we took those chord tones through the chord progression. And then the last thing that we talked about was taking those chord tones and approaching them from the third and playing a pattern that goes third up to the fifth, up to the one, the root, and then going back to the seven. 3, 5, 1, 7. And then taking that pattern through the chord progression. I'm going to leave you with that. That's a lot. Work on that information. Take as much time as you need. I've got more that I want to talk about regarding this pattern, and I'll do that in the next video. But if you like this one, please do me a massive favor and click like. It goes a long way and really helps this video to be seen to those people who need it, or for those people who need it. There are a few ways to donate to the channel if you are in a position to do so, and share this video to anyone you think needs it. All of the above is greatly appreciated. I will leave the links in the description box below if you are in a position to donate or join the channel, or however you want to help out. It means a lot, all of it. And as always, I thank you for visiting me here in the brownstone, and I will see you in the next video very soon. Peace.